Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the UA that was recently released for the Artificer. We'll be talking about the subclass today, the Artillerist. Normally, I don't like to cover UA, but my community requested that I cover this one specifically because the Artificer wasn't in the player's handbook and we all miss it. The Artillerist is the blaster Artificer, the one that really doubles down on spellcasting and on damage dealing, and is one of the more popular ones that you see. How has it changed in the brand new UA? Obviously, the whole thing is subject to change, but I love seeing that it's here. We'll get into the details in just a moment. Before we do, I'd like to let you know Relax Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter, but also you get early access to my videos. I upload the videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button just down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badges. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine too. Just watching the video at all, liking, subscribing to the channel, these are all free ways that you can support me, and I really appreciate them. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. So artillerists begin at level 3 with their tool proficiencies. They get woodcarver's tools, not the most useful tools in the game, but if you already have proficiency in them, like you got that from your artificer base, you can choose any type you like. So that's handy. Also, you can create wands, magical wands, with the new crafting rules in half the time. This is actually pretty nice since there are a lot of kind of somewhat disposable wands, the kind that only get a few charges back per day, and being able to make them is really, really handy. I give this feature 9 out of 10. You also get an expanded spell list. The artillerist spells are spells you always have prepared, and we're looking at some real blaster style spells. The shield spell is here, which is always great. Artificers don't normally get that. But also here is Scorching Ray, Fireball, Wall of Fire, Wall of Force, Cone of Cold, lots of offensive and defensive powers. I give the overall list a 9 out of 10. It's pretty solid. Finally, the feature you get at level 3 and the main feature of the subclass is the Eldritch Cannon. This allows you to create a small or tiny cannon. It can walk on its own or sit on your shoulder if you like. And yeah, it's got like an 18 AC, it's got 5 times your artificer level in hit points, and basically it's a cannon. As a bonus action, you can command it to do one of 3 things. It can either spray a 15-foot cone of fire as a flamethrower, doing 2d8 damage against a failed save. It can shoot a ranged spell attack as a force ballista, doing 2d8 force damage and pushing a creature 5 feet. Or you can have it give out temporary hit points to you and your allies, 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. And you can do a different feature every time you use the bonus action. So whatever you need, whether you're trying to spray a group of enemies with flame, shoot creatures for extra damage, or just grant temp HP to you and your friends, overall the cannon is fantastically handy. And it's just if nothing else, it's a weaponized bonus action. And at its best, it is a weaponized bonus action protector. I give it 10 out of 10, for sure. Not to mention, if it's destroyed, you can, get it back after a long rest, or just use a spell slot and a magic action to make another one. So you're not ever going to be out of these things. Now, at level 5, you can craft your arcane firearm. This allows you to carve magical runes on a wand or a staff or some kind of magical arcane focus. And when you cast your spells using that focus, you can add an extra d8 to the damage of your spells. This is pretty powerful, honestly. An extra D8 is nothing to write home about, but it's definitely not nothing. It kind of reminds me of the Blessed Strikes feature, or the Potent Cantrip feature, um, or even the Alchemical Savant feature, just adding extra damage to your magic. It gives you a reason to be a blaster using firebolts, poison spray, acid splash, things like that. So I give it 9 out of 10. At level 9, you get the feature Explosive Cannon, and this one is an upgrade from the last time that we saw a blowing up cannon. Now, when your cannon drops to 0 hit points, so if it's attacked, because the thing is, you don't have to keep this on your shoulder. You can deploy it and have it like firing around the battlefield. But if it gets destroyed, it gets dropped to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction and cause it to explode. It explodes in an area, and creatures have to make a save, and it does 3d10 force damage when it blows up. Additionally, other than your exploding cannon, your damage dice, so your force ballista and your flamethrower powers from the cannon, get an extra d8 in damage as well. So now it's doing 3d8s for the fire and for the force damage. With both of these things packed together, this just makes your cannon tougher to destroy, because your enemies are, well, it's not tougher to destroy, it just is a better thing if it gets destroyed, because it'll just blow up and hurt your enemies while they're doing it. And it gives it more damage. So honestly, having it out in the battlefield makes more sense now, rather than sitting on your shoulder or next to you. Because you want your enemies to attack it. You want that to be spraying enemies with fire and shooting them with force. And then when they go to destroy it, you're like, yes! And then you reaction blow it up, and it's just good stuff. This is 10 out of 10 for sure. Finally, level 15 comes along, and you get Fortified Position. First of all, you can have 2 cannons now instead of 1. You still get a free 1 whenever you finish a long rest, so it will take 2 days to make 2 of them. You can make both of them with the same magic action, so if you lose both in a day and you want both back, you can get them both back with an action, although you have to use a spell slot for each one. This is the only thing I've ever heard of that lets you use 2 spell slots at once with 1 action. An interesting little dichotomy there. Also, if you or your allies are within 10 feet of the cannon, it emits a little aura, which grants you half cover, which is effectively a +2 to your armor class. So it's a defensive benefit. Once again, another reason you'd want it out in the field, defending your allies while you stand back and shoot with your arcane firearm. This is another solid power buff for the cannon. Now you've got 2, and they can both attack with your bonus action. The same bonus action can command both of them, and they can do different things if you want. Overall, this is 10 out of 10. And overall, the Artillerist is 10 out of 10. A solid spell list, a powerful bonus action cannon or 2 that you can command, a boost to your spell casting, all of it's good stuff. It's a shame that your arcane firearm doesn't count as a gun that you can just shoot as a weapon attack, like a musket or something. It has to be a spellcasting focus. But it really just means the Artillerist is going to focus everything on their intelligence, their spellcasting, their DC, all their cannon-based stuff, and they're going to be shooting their wand or staff like a gun, just they'll be doing it with spells, cantrips, and the like. Not to mention, that expanded spell list is solid. Throwing out a fireball is never a bad thing. Yeah, I give the Artillerist 10 out of 10. It is definitely one of the most fun Artificer subclasses. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.